Welcome back to my channel. This is my first video in 1.5 years. So, I decided I'm gonna come back here today because of the recent news surrounding Desmond Amofe, also known as Etica, and how he took his own life, like due to all the pressure he's been suffering, especially since it has been present online on all of his social media accounts. This guy is like roughly 3 years older than I am. He is from New York, like I am. His parents immigrated to America like my own parents did. So he is like basically foreign, like born of foreign parents like I am. So we're like basically foreign American people. And both from New York. We're both YouTube users, and to not very surprisingly, I am also a YouTuber who struggles with mental health issues too. So I have been suffering mental health issues similar to what Etica has suffered. I have vented in anger online at random people over the years when I felt like people have wronged me during the day, either in person or through some kind of online message like text or Twitter or Facebook. And I feel like, are they being racist to me? Or do they just not want me to exist because I give my own race a bad name? And the reason I'm bringing race into this is because Etika was a person of color. I am a person of color. So maybe he may have felt some type of way about his heritage. His family is from Ghana. His father is a politician. And one sad fact about him, besides the way he took his own life, is he had an older brother who died of some mystery cause. Nobody knows how. He didn't even explain how. So that older brother of his died before he gained YouTube fame. And I read about his father, who's a Ghanaian politician. And his father has been involved in some scandals, especially that goes down to some parking ticket stuff. So his family history is no different than mine. I've also had a bad family history too, because even though I've done so much wrong online and I've done so much wrong, I've confessed that I have been, fighting towards other people, especially when I shouldn't be responding at all. I should be ignoring some other people. But when they provoke me, they just do, and I can't help it. But my family members have been involved in some scandals as well, including a recent one involving my cousins back abroad in Bangladesh. They kept a lot of secrets and they threw each other's money away. So they've done a lot worse than I did with my parents' money. And that's the reason I have been struggling with my emotions. I have been struggling with my emotions for almost 2 years, just like Etika was. And I have engaged in self-harm at times. And I have been so frustrated as to hit objects such as furniture or appliances until some of them have broken or shattered over the months. And I've had to try to fix them myself. So my issues are no different than Etica's in the way that he had ranted, he had maybe gotten physical, and while he has had several run-ins with police that they had enough sense to not take him to jail but just to mental asylums, because these are the types of police that can understand no matter what race or color or religion, somebody is clearly suffering some mental health issue. Well, my issue is similar to his, that I have been escorted to just clinical offices. But up to today, some therapists, they just couldn't understand. It's like I explained everything to them, and I felt like even though they're so licensed and they seem to be like the only hope I have who live near where I live or work near where I live, it something just doesn't click between me and them. It, either they're having a hard time finding any treatment for me, or they just don't. They just gaze off or doze off and like stare into space or something. Like my recent therapist has been acting super weird with me, especially this week. And I'm just hoping that in light of this, I hope I don't end up harming myself the way Etica did, because he had a bright life ahead of him. He had so much to give, and yet he just ended up succumbing to his mental health struggles, his rants. He even like used he even posted pictures of himself threatening things, and sometimes I felt like I have done that in the past, but I have since deleted those posts because that's not how I want to end up, despite suffering from some kind of disorder. I mean, I've been to several therapists and they still couldn't understand, even though I'm just telling them all my problems. I don't know if I'm suffering bipolar, mania. I don't know if I'm suffering the exact same symptoms Etika suffered. So I have been offline of YouTube for like quite some time, because since I last posted there, like I've had some problems with my family members. The same people I mentioned who have done a lot of wrong, have done and hid a lot more secrets than I have. One of my aunts told my mother over a Facebook Messenger that I posted naked pictures on New Year's Day, even though I just spent New Year's night alone with my mother. And she clearly saw me. I was not looking naked or anything. And then my mom just happened to believe my my sister's like well I mean my aunt's lies. My mom just happened to believe my aunt's lies about me posting naked pictures on Facebook, and then she started lashing out at me repeatedly throughout the entire day of New Year's Day. So here, let's look at it, because it's New Year's 2018. That's when shit hit the fan with me. How I conduct myself online and how my family responded and brainwashed each other to do a public smear campaign against me. So my mother repeatedly lashed out at me because she believed my aunt's lies. And she just lay in the bed crying, and she decided that we're not going to church or some shit like that. Even like the way we usually do every year to bless us with a good year or something like that, tradition. But she decided not to go, and that's when I've had a lot more bad days than good days. It just went downhill from then because of maybe my relatives are pretty jealous that we're celebrating and they can't celebrate back in Bangladesh. I don't know what goes on in their heads. But all I know is that they've suffered, like they're a lot more insane than I think I am, and they have a lot to hide from their own parents. So back to the matter, I've had a lot more bad days than good because at the same time I was taking 5 courses per semester from fall 2017 to spring 2018. And that was before I graduated. So I struggled with trying to finish homework, trying to do well on exams, and I struggled with, you know, concentrating in class because since everybody believed all those lies against me, I have been pretty upset. And I felt like in this state I live in, there's nobody for me to turn to. I can't find any professional help except for on campus where I was that time. And just it just occurred to me that I felt my paranoia started to manifest, that everybody has something to say about me and I feel like I'm the most hated human being in the world. Is is it because of my personality? Is it because of my appearance? That's what made me suffer this paranoia. And I've also been emotionally eating on some days because on some bad days I've had on campus or at home, like I try to participate in some extracurricular activities that can help me and give me back some confidence in my own appearance. But I've been rejected a lot, and people have rejected me behind my back, or they didn't even notify me up until a whole month later, and then I still got rejected anyway. So that's how I felt a sense of betrayal, and I started to get very angry, especially with my own family, and I started to hit things in anger. And I have been in lots and lots of arguments with my sister about this, and they've all been telling me, seek help, but then they switch to a different side and say, oh, don't seek help, please talk to us, please talk to us, please talk to us. How can I talk to anybody who's causing me all this hurt? I mean, how can I get them to admit that what they are doing or what they are saying affects me and affects how I see myself? Things got worse for me over the year after I graduated. So I've read news about how companies have been posting or releasing racist material, and I decide I'm not gonna shop there anymore. I'm not gonna eat there anymore, or I'm not gonna buy anything from there anymore. And whenever I had a disagreement with my family or anybody else about, you know, going there or something like that, because I've had a fear that other people of color might attack me because they think that I am racist towards them, which I'm not very. And then they attack me. So whenever I had a disagreement about with my family about this, they would start saying things about me that are not true right to my face. They would say that I piss everybody off, I don't follow any directions, I have no education, I am illiterate, I have no class, even though they threw away all their money and put me through 4 years at a university. And I was thinking, why are they using this argument with me that contradicts what they have done for me? Is is it because they just don't like that I exist? Because I would later learn that, you know, some people did not want me to be born. And that's what pushed my mental state further downward, like deeper than I can handle. Because was I born to be hated? Was I born to be used as a punching bag or a whipping girl or something? Because this is not Quahog, Rhode Island, honey. It is not Quahog, Rhode Island, and we are not on Fox Sundays at 9. So back to the matter. After my graduation, we have had been racially profiled a lot. Been racially profiled at one giant location when we were shopping and some checkout machine went wrong, and my mother was in a hurry to just scan and go, scan and go. And then she, my sister, and me, we all got dragged into this, and we were threatened with deportation. And that's when I realized, oh my, this has gone political right now. And from like from that day on, I felt like everybody's out to get me, and everybody's punishing me for even stepping outside my house. And I've had these types of problems during my last semester at the university I studied. Like one of my teacher's assistants, they've had a problem with me. They've like started disputes with me, and uh, it got me reported to code of conduct a couple of times. I've had to have extra meetings to dispute these claims. They wanted me to drop one class and take 6 classes at a time or something. That that really made it difficult for me to finish any homework. It really made it difficult for me to study for any exams. And it certainly made it difficult for me to apply for graduation, try to see if I can find a job, because after I graduated, it has been hard for me to find a job. I do hold a bachelor's degree, but apparently the job market is not looking for those anymore. It's like discontinued or some shit like that. And when I realized that nothing is working out for me this year, I have like hid myself. Because I like engaged in self-harm a lot, and I've thrown some things in anger. And sometimes I would end up with cuts like this or something like that, or bruises on the fingers, or bruises on the legs, the feet. And I would cover myself a lot because, I mean, my relatives' hopes and fears have worked. They wanted me to, shut up and not be seen anymore. It seems like. And I still suffer this paranoia that, they think they're better than me. And that happens with my father's side of the family too. They think they're better than me. They've even accused me of being illegitimate too, and my sister as well. So that really further pushes me to, hate myself more, to the point where I would bruise my knees, my feet, legs, thighs, fingers, hands, and um, that's it. It just stops there. But when I went to vacation in Bangladesh to visit those relatives and try to work things out with them, we ended up fighting over what type of shitty food they fed me, or what type of clothes that I am supposed to keep when we leave from Bangladesh back to New York. I had to waste 1 whole month there, and I don't know what my other family members were doing at home with my things that I had to leave behind at home going to Bangladesh. And when we were fighting over the clothes or what I was packing, I got into a physical altercation with my mother and my aunt, and it resulted in me misaligning a bone in my right elbow and misaligning a bone in my right foot on the little toe. And I didn't realize that they were that misaligned until I came home, to America. And later, when we were coming home to America, we were supposed to be home like early morning. But instead, when we came home, we were taken into a TSA office because my mother was bringing fruit from Bangladesh to home just for my dad. And we were held there without anything. We were prohibited from using our cell phones for 5 hours. And I was so pissed off, I went to the bathroom and harmed myself a lot more. And I was throwing a tantrum, feeling like this is my relative's fault. They performed some black magic on us and wished us to suffer in more misery and deeper misery than they think they are. Like playing the victim and shit like that. So that's how, when my paranoia like festered and my self-harm festered. And I figured, you know, my mom is still kissing their ass after all these years. And, how do I put it this way? Yeah. That's just about when things took a turn for the worse. After the 5 hours, I just rushed home and I had to unpack everything for days on end. I didn't get any rest. I couldn't eat anything. I didn't feel like eating anything because I've emotionally ate myself to the point where I'm like fluctuating. I am just, uh, I don't know. I'm just like, so after I settled everything down and threw away all the luggage, um, I discovered that some of my things are missing, and I figured, oh no, did my sister throw them out because she's so pissed off at something? And we later found out that she had relationship problems. I cannot go into that any deeper, but those relationship problems about dating and stuff, it drove her to be pissed off at me and not only our parents, but also mostly me because I still can't find a job. And now I'm trying to learn computer science or something so I can just look for a better job market and shit like that. And yeah, that's when I realized, oh my god, they want to erase every single sign of me. Like everybody in my life wants to erase every single sign of my presence. They want to they want to make sure I wish I don't exist anymore or something. And that's when, when people were getting rid of my things, my paranoia did fester even more and I started getting more and more angry. And when I came across news that even more fashion houses were releasing culturally appropriating shit And that really insulted me because it took me back to when everybody dragged me to the back of the Giant store when I was held at the TSA office. And it feels like people were assuming that I was racist to them and I caused this, I caused that. And they're assuming that I was racist to them. So they behave more racist with me and sexist with me too, talking to me like I'm some sex worker. Then that's when I decided I'm going to return all the jewelry that we bought from those brands. And when I next time I like go to a mall or any mall that we bought that shit from, but I put it in one bag. But still, everybody was pressuring me to get rid of some things I hold near and dear to me. So I just put out that bag of jewelry and accessories, and the next day it was gone. Nobody made any fuss about that until Mother's Day. Everybody started confronting me, and I had to look everywhere for that bag. I didn't even eat. I couldn't sleep. I didn't eat anything at all. I couldn't even bring myself to fall asleep or even wake up or even take a shower. So, this is my personal life, and I was celebrating somebody's birthday that I loved very much. I idolized a lot. Like one night, and my dad started a fight with me, arguing with me, and it took me back to the day I was held at that TSA office for 5 hours, and I thought, is he gonna break my shit and held me captive for more than 5 hours? And that's how I'm having a very terrible day whenever they come around, or whenever I see them, or I have to talk to them on the phone. That brings me back. And I don't like being brought back, and that worsens my mental health. And they don't even admit that they are doing this to me. They always blame me. They always blame me, and they do their best efforts to make me wish I was never born or something. And sometimes when I cut myself or bruise myself, I feel like, are they trying to make their wish come true? Are they trying to make me really end my life, or like make somebody who is not really worth my life worth my life? Because I live by this coda. I live by this coda under which nobody should be worth ending my life for. I watched this one Bollywood movie in which one wife and mother ended her life and left her 2-year-old daughter to fend for herself the whole day because she fought with her husband, she fought with her family, she fought with her friends, and they got physical with each other, especially on the daughter's second birthday. And when I read the news about when Etica went missing and then New York Police Department found his dead body, it took me back to when I watched that movie, and I figured, you know, all those articles I'm reading about, being a social media user and trying to, please people, not to offend anybody, whatever you post or something, it really takes a toll on the mental health because, like, the way they idolize certain celebrities I hate and try to use them or use their Instagram pages against me in particular, in using like all these stan accounts or fan accounts, all these stan pages to act like they are better than me. So that's the type of offense or offensive behavior that everybody should be looking out for and everybody should make those people suffer. Therefore, Etica did not deserve to suffer. YouTubers like me don't even deserve to suffer. Like, nobody deserves to suffer from their mental health crises. And nobody deserves to end their lives just for these matters. So, when Etica, I read about him, I read about his erratic behavior, his ranting online, and it made me think that I have vented online that way because I've had personal problems that I have had the courage to discuss here. Because there, I said it. I've struggled with a lot of personal problems at home, outside of home, whenever I'm trying to take a vacation, whenever I'm trying to shop for something, whenever I'm trying to seek help from professionals that just, or people who seem to be professionals but then act super weird. So it's just not worth ending one's life. And the reason I am doing this video today is because I am trying to reach out to say that it's not worth ending your life over all these matters. It's not worth it, and it's not worth ending each other's lives. Like, I mean, things have taken a turn for the worse since this. I'm pretty mad at other YouTubers who do make fun of suicide and still have their YouTube accounts subscribed to, monetized, and somebody shot up one YouTube headquarters and killed themselves. And it made me think, this is not fair. This is just, they're politicizing against our mental health, against people who have lost a loved one to suicide. I have lost a classmate to suicide several years ago. I used to go to high school with her, and then all of a sudden, a couple of days after her 21st birthday, she killed herself, and that really hurt me very deep. And from then on, I'm thinking, nothing is a laughing matter today. Nothing, absolutely nothing is a laughing matter here today. Especially with Desmond Etica Mofa. And I have this fear that, oh my God, am I gonna be next? I still struggle with paranoia. I still struggle with self-harm. I still struggle with hitting things out of anger, my aggression increasing. It just, I'm trying to find like every licensed professional where I live, every licensed professional possible to help me and find like some effective treatment to help me stop. And on top of that, I'm trying to work out more and trying to lose weight and not emotionally eat anymore. Sometimes I have to fast. Sometimes I have to put first aid kits on the harm that I've caused myself over the years. It just, it's pretty hard being a human being and trying to find ways to continue your life. I read the Bible every day because I do not want to be next. And I do not want anybody who I subscribe to on YouTube, who I follow on Twitter, who I follow on Instagram, who I friend on Facebook. I do not want anybody to be next. Not only do I not want myself to be next, I don't want anybody else to be next. So if you're watching this video, I am very sorry if I have offended any of you. I am very sorry if I have told an inconvenient truth or something like that. I'm sorry if I said a lot of things you won't admit or I won't admit, but I have admitted a lot of wrong. So if anybody is watching this, please know that you have a lot to live for. Your life is a precious gift from God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Trinity, Virgin Mary, and all that. It's a precious gift from God, Allah, Krishna, whatever religion, race. Nobody should have to like forge lies about each other, tear each other's family apart. Nobody should have to harass each other, make each other feel inadequate, destroy each other's confidence in oneself. It is not worth one's life. It is not worth a matter of life or death, because everything's already a matter of life and death, and it is upsetting me and biting my ass to know that other people might be suffering the same as Etica has done. So I'm hoping that, everybody learns this and finds ways to get well and get help the way I'm doing. I'm struggling to find ways to get help and not fall into a state where, oh, this world is not for me. I would not. I'm struggling to push myself away from that mentality. I'm pretty sure Etica was suffering the same too. He was struggling from this to push away from this mentality that all these things was worth his life, or I am not worth it for the world. I am worthless for this world. I have had these days where some people, even at casting calls I have attended, as recent as one in Washington, D.C., they have made me feel worthless despite their grandiose message that, oh, everybody who's diverse or who's unique, all sizes, it's no one size fits all thing. Bullshit. Everybody's welcome to apply or some shit like that. That even happens in the job market. So I feel like if I have to look for a job or if I have to audition for something, it should not be worth my life. So that is what I have been struggling with a lot recently. Sometimes I have tweeted in anger, but then I realized when I look back at it, it is not worth ending my life for. It is not worth anybody ending anybody's life for. Because when I hear of a suicide, it just grips my heart very hard. So if you are watching this raw, unfiltered post here, nothing petty, nothing political is worth ending your life. You have a lot to live for. You have a lot to give to the world. You have a nice legacy to live. Life is a precious gift from the Lord. I go to church every Sunday and I understand the line between life and death. We are all teetering on it. And suicide is never a solution. It is never a solution to anybody's problems. It never solves any problems for loved ones you leave behind. So my message and my bottom line to you is that we have to honor Etica's legacy, and we have to not make such jokes of suicide anymore, not be such a Burberry about it, or a Logan Paul. I'm so sorry to say, but that's that. That's facts. And, so to end this, to sign off, it's not worth, just giving up. You can't give up just yet. There is a lot for you to continue on. Think about how much you have to live for. I think about how much I have to live for and how other people who are making me feel worthless have done more wrong. So I will try to be here more often. And I will let you know that I am okay every day. So, this is me. This is my life, and this is my channel. This is my latest post, and I am going to sign off knowing that you will find me okay, and I am still here, and I am still around. You should still be around too, because life is short, life is precious. You only live once. Make every day count. I love you, and I value you so much. Each human being has value on this earth. Thank you.